The pen was literally hovering over the paper when the phone call changed everything. Ben Hunt stood on the precipice of a homecoming that fans had already started celebrating with custom jerseys and social media parades. The narrative was perfect, the prodigal son returning to Red Hill to finish his storied career where it all began. But in a move that has sent shockwaves through the NRL community, that script has been torn to shreds. There will be no emotional walk through the Suncorp Stadium tunnels in Broncos colours this time. Instead, a wall of silence has been replaced by a definitive choice to stay anchored in Sydney, a decision that leaves Brisbane officials stunned and searching for answers in a barren halfback market. This isn't just a change of heart, it is a calculated pivot that redefines the power balance of the competition. While the Rugby League world waited for the official "I'm coming home" announcement, Hunt was busy securing a future that keeps his family settled in the harbour city, effectively snubbing the romanticized return for a reality that favours stability over nostalgia. The fallout from this decision is going to be massive for both the Broncos and the Sydney clubs now scrambling for his signature, and you need to be here for every development. If you want the fastest, most reliable breakdowns of how this reshapes the 2026 rosters, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications. We are tracking every meeting and every contract whisper in real time. This is All Sports Updates, your home for the truth behind the headlines. Brisbane had built their entire 2026 strategy around the veteran's experience, viewing him as the missing piece to guide their young stars through the high-pressure finals furnace. Coach Michael Maguire had reportedly been in constant contact, laying out the red carpet for a leader who knew the club's DNA better than anyone. The Broncos' cap was managed, the locker was ready, and the fans were prepared to forgive the years spent in the red V of the Dragons. However, the pull of Sydney's lifestyle and the specific demands of his young family proved to be a hurdle that even the most lucrative Queensland offer couldn't clear. Behind closed doors, the negotiations were intense, with Brisbane offering a post-career pathway that many thought was a locked-in deal. But as the deadline approached, the silence from Hunt's camp became deafening. It wasn't about the money or the legacy, it was about the daily reality of a life built in New South Wales over the last 7 years. The rejection is a bitter pill for a Brisbane side that desperately needs a cool head to partner their explosive backline. The ripple effect across the Sydney market is already creating a chaotic bidding war as clubs realise a premier playmaker is officially staying in their backyard. The Roosters and Bulldogs have long been linked to Hunt, but the sudden confirmation that Brisbane is out of the race has turned a quiet interest into a full-blown recruitment frenzy. For the Roosters, Hunt represents a perfect bridge for their transition period, while the Bulldogs see him as the ultimate professional to instill a winning culture. Every Sydney-based CEO is currently checking their salary cap depth, knowing that securing a player of Hunt's caliber at this stage of the off-season is a once-in-a-decade opportunity. The tension in these front offices is palpable because they know one signature could turn a mid-table team into a genuine premiership threat overnight. Hunt has all the leverage now, and he knows it. He has traded the sentiment of a Queensland return for the power of being the most wanted man in the biggest rugby league market on the planet. The Sydney landscape is about to look very different. This is All Sports Updates, and we are just getting started on the details of this massive snub. What makes this move truly shocking is how close it actually came to being a done deal in Brisbane. Insiders suggest that the contract terms were essentially agreed upon, with only the final signatures missing from the document. The Broncos had even planned a media day to celebrate the return, believing the geographical pull of home was an unbeatable factor. To have that snatched away at the 11th hour is a massive blow to the club's internal morale and their public image. It raises questions about the current appeal of the Broncos project under the new regime if a club legend would rather stay in rival territory. For Hunt, it's a gamble on his own longevity and his ability to perform under the bright lights of Sydney's relentless media cycle without the protective cushion of a homecoming narrative. He has effectively chosen to be the villain in Brisbane's story to be the hero in his own family's life. It is a rare moment of a player prioritizing personal stability over the perfect career ending that the media had crafted for him. Speculation is now mounting as to which Sydney club has actually put the winning offer on the table. While the Roosters have the glamour, whispers from within the inner west suggest a dark horse might be emerging to secure Hunt's services. The veteran has always been a man who values a clear role and a coach who trusts his instincts, which makes certain clubs more attractive than others. This isn't just about playing another season, it's about which system allows him to maintain his status as an elite halfback while he edges closer to the 400-game milestone. The physical toll of the NRL is immense, and staying in Sydney removes the grueling travel schedule that a move to Brisbane would have reinstated. By cutting out the constant interstate flights, Hunt is essentially adding a year or two to his playing life. This strategic move shows a player who is thinking 3 steps ahead of everyone else, ensuring that his final chapters are written on his own terms, regardless of the disappointment left behind in the Sunshine State. For the Brisbane fans, the snub feels like a personal betrayal after months of building hope. Social media is currently a battlefield of opinions, with some supporters claiming the club is better off without a player who doesn't have a 100% commitment to the jersey. But the reality is much bleaker for the coaching staff. Without Hunt, the Broncos are left with a massive hole in their leadership group and a lack of depth in the halves that could derail their entire season before it even starts. They had put all their eggs in the Hunt basket, and now that the basket has been kicked over, there is no clear plan B. The market for elite playmakers is currently bone dry, meaning Brisbane might have to look toward a risky mid-season trade or blood an untested rookie in a high-stakes environment. This decision doesn't just affect Ben Hunt, it shifts the entire trajectory of the Brisbane Broncos for the next 3 years, potentially closing a premiership window that many thought was just opening. The sheer drama of this U-turn will be talked about for years as one of the great what-ifs of the modern era. Had he moved, the narrative of the 2026 season would have been centered on his redemption. Now, every time he steps onto the field in Sydney, he will be reminded of the bridge he burned back north. It takes a certain level of mental toughness to walk away from a guaranteed hero's welcome to stay in a city where you are just another elite athlete. Hunt has proven that he isn't interested in the easy path or the popular vote. He is a professional who treats his career like a business, and in this business, Sydney offered a better deal for his life outside the stadium. As the dust settles on this announcement, the focus shifts to the first time he has to face the Broncos on the field. The atmosphere will be electric, the boos will be loud, and the tension will be higher than any regular season game in recent memory. We have witnessed a masterclass in career management and a heartbreaking moment for Brisbane fans all at once. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Ben Hunt saga, make sure you check out our other videos on the 2026 recruitment shifts. We have plenty more exclusive content coming your way as the season approaches, and you won't want to miss a single second of the action. This has been All Sports Updates, keeping you in the loop with the biggest stories in the game. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one when the next big signing breaks the internet. Would you like me to write a similar script for another NRL player transfer or perhaps a different sport entirely?